What is up, squad? I am here to bring you my take on Married to Medicine Season 7, Episode 2. This week's episode is called Stirring the Pot, which is exactly what Dr. Jackie did by, getting all these women together so soon after their explosive get together last week. Okay, but we're going to get into that in a second. This week's episode, there were, several different couples, several different issues. The bulk of which, let me just dive right in. Dr. Contessa and her husband Scott. A lot of people are like, Dr. Contessa is just so boring. The situation is just so boring. We don't care. We don't this, we don't that. But if you notice, I don't know if y'all notice, but Dr. Contessa is one of the women featured. She's like featured in the middle of the ladies this season. So I don't know if they're gonna give Dr. Contessa like a bigger role, but it seems like they're focusing more on her family life. This week, Dr. Contessa is seen coming back to Atlanta from Nashville, where she takes, I guess, some classes. Look, excuse me for not knowing the specifics. Like I told y'all last week, I'm just getting into this review thing. So bear with me. But Dr. Contessa is coming home from Nashville. We witness her in, the Uber or whatever as she's coming home. And she calls her husband to let him know, I'll be there in, 10 minutes or whatever. After she hangs up, she decides to stop by McDonald's to pick up, a little bit of fast food for the kids. Therein lies the problem. While Scott's at home, we see him feeding the kids. We see him helping them with their homework. They get ready for bed. It's clearly late. It's dark outside. So here comes Contessa. She arrives home with bags in hand for the kids, get them their little fries and their little burgers or whatever. And Scott is a bit perturbed. Like, they already ate. They don't need nothing else to eat, I assure you. But, she was like, oh, I had no idea. Now, from my perspective on the outside looking in, it would seem like Contessa didn't appreciate, or Dr. Scott felt that Contessa didn't appreciate the efforts that he was putting in to take care of the kids. Of course he's going to feed the kids. Of course he's going to make sure that, their homework is done. Of course he's a dad, right? It just seems like Contessa didn't have the faith in him to know that her husband would take care of it. So she did it. And I understand she's a mom and that's what moms do. But, in Dr. Scott's defense, it seemed like she didn't appreciate him. So as soon as she gets home, what does she do? She's nitpicking. She's talking about dishes in the sink. She's talking about laundry in the basket, as if, all of this in the house should have been pristine when she arrived home. Dr. Scott clearly isn't having it. Contessa is like, well, the alternative could have been for the entire family to move to Nashville. And, meanwhile, he just throws up his hands and just walks off. A lot of couples go through this. I feel like, a lot of people have blinders on and don't really realize, that the other spouse is trying. And he definitely was putting in the effort. I mean, we witnessed it. But, hopefully she will see. But moving on. Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Jackie get together to discuss, their podcast, which caused such a ruckus last week. This girl code thing, which is clearly not a thing in their group, has, caused a lot of issues. Dr. Jackie tells Heavenly, you don't think you were wrong. There's some things you need to be held accountable for. And Dr. Heavenly admits, yeah, I kind of failed at some things. I was wrong. I feel like I need to, be accountable for the things that I did. But, other people need to be held accountable too. And so Dr. Heavenly says, well, Jackie, you failed at some things just like I failed at some things. You got to admit some things because, Dr. Jackie can be a bit passive aggressive. Dr. Jackie was like, what? Who, me? I'm perfect. I'm Dr. Jackie. But Dr. Heavenly basically calls her out on it and tells her, like, look, you knew what you were doing with Mariah. You Mariah called you out on some things, and she told you your slip was showing, and you knew what she meant, and you gotta admit that you were being a little bit shady when you sat there talking about a slip. What's that? I wear the pants. And Dr. Jackie was like, I've never heard that before. But whatever the case, Dr. Jackie plans to have all of the women get together yet again to try to resolve some issues by putting all of their grievances on the table. She tells Dr. Heavenly she has decided to name this latest event the Emerging TEA instead of emergency. But you know, they're doctors. It's corny, and she knows it's corny. But, you know, it's a cute little spin on words. You know, a sad situation that occurred during this week's show was we found out that Toya had a miscarriage. It's revealed that Toya and her husband, Dr. Eugene, lost a child due to miscarriage. And she shares a home video clip where she has one of her sons take his father the pregnancy test, you know, showing that she's pregnant. And of course, Dr. Eugene is overjoyed at the prospect of having another child in the home. But sadly, Toya lost the child at 6 or 7 weeks. And she shares those details in a confessional as she has her doctor's appointment with Dr. Simone. When asked how Eugene took it, Toya says that he said he put it on his virtual shelf of failures. And she breaks down into tears thinking about the loss. Dr. Simone tells her that, you know, it's not a failure. In fact, you know, there's absolutely nothing that you could have done about it. A lot of women go through this. As a woman who's gone through it as well, you know, a miscarriage is something that is so personal that, you know, as a woman, you feel like nobody really understands but you. It's like so many what ifs. What if I could have eaten differently? What if I could have, you know, rested and, you know, perhaps that was it? Or what if, you know, there's so many what ifs that, you know, you feel like it is your fault when most of the time it's not. It is a natural thing that just happens sometimes. And speaking of that, you know, the family is understandably devastated. Toya is understandably devastated. And, you know, she's just trying her best to keep it all together in the midst of, you know, all the little petty drama that's going on with the ladies. Meanwhile, you know, Dr. Jackie proceeds with her emerging tea party. All the ladies, you know, they arrive in their, you know, tea best. Dr. Who was it? Hold on, let me look. Heavenly and Mariah arrive wearing the exact same shade of blue. The ladies all, you know, gather at the table, and Dr. Jackie decides that she's going to bring in a third party to mediate. She says she doesn't want to, you know, she just wants things to remain unbiased. As for her, let me back up for a minute. Heavenly and Mariah says that she is the blueprint for Dr. Heavenly's fashion, and apparently Dr. Heavenly is known to copy Mariah's style. You know, Mariah brings up the fact that it's been done before, and they even provide a clip of Dr. Heavenly when she had on the same earrings and shoes as Mariah in one of the reunions. But it is what it is. But anyway, Dr. Jackie decides she wants to fix what's broken in the ladies' sister circle. So she says in order to remain unbiased, you know, again, like I just said, she has a third party there. The ladies are all on board. And Jackie decides she's going to have everybody pull from a basket filled with cards with emotions on them to discuss whatever the emotion is on the card. So Mariah goes first, and she chooses disappointment. Mariah says she's disappointed that the term girl code is used, but often violated. Mariah references how Dr. Jackie repeated Quad's cocaine accusations without speaking to her first. And she said she didn't even have enough respect for her as a person to ask her about it without repeating it. The positive thing is, when asked, what can be done to fix it, Mariah says she needs acknowledgement from Dr. Jackie that what she did was wrong. Now, we didn't get any feedback from Dr. Jackie on this, but at least Mariah told her what she wants. Okay, moving on. Dr. Simone says she chooses hurt. She says she's hurt because she feels betrayed by a friend, Dr. Heavenly, because Simone feels that there were boundaries that should never have been crossed, and she feels betrayed because Heavenly shared things that she told her in confidence. As we previously discussed, Heavenly decided to go in on Simone's husband, Cecil, after Cecil took a dig at her on social media. Heavenly clapped back at him by saying, when he said something about pressure washing her house, and she said maybe we should get you to do it since you don't have anything else to do, so you're unemployed or something like that. But I digress. My thing about that is Simone not only told Dr. Heavenly, she basically told the entire world. So why is she so upset with Dr. Heavenly? Then again, regardless of if everyone knew or not, being that they are close, it would kind of feel awkward, for her husband to get a dig like that as someone who's supposed to be a close friend. I kind of understand. Heavenly goes next, of course. She chooses confused. Heavenly says she feels confused because she's at a loss as to why she's still a target of Simone. She felt like the battle was a battle between, he took a shot, she took a shot, and that's it. And she uses a self-constructed Bible verse to express her feelings, and she says, "Dare not speak on somebody else's flaws until you look at the plank in your own eye." What the hell does that mean? I don't know. Dr. Heavenly doesn't know. We don't know. It's not in the Bible. The ladies all agree it's not in the Bible. Toya decides to go next. Toya chooses disappointed. She says she's disappointed in herself and feels overwhelmed, which is interesting because, anyone who has gone through a miscarriage knows that you beat yourself up. You don't beat up the people around you. It's just all internal. As I said before, it's a lot of what ifs, and you blame yourself for losing this child. I mean, you're a vessel. Anyway, she also says she feels that she uses the words friends a little too closely, because she doesn't feel that she can confide in the group, and she says that she doesn't feel that any of them have been good friends to her. In her confessional, she admits that she doesn't feel comfortable about confiding in them about her miscarriage because of those feelings. And I can completely understand. Like, the last thing that Toya would need, being so emotionally fragile at this time, is for one of the ladies to use her miscarriage against her. You don't have any control over what these women say when they get mad. As you can tell, Dr. Heavenly hits below the belt. Other people have, Dr. Contessa hit below the belt just last week, calling her husband a bitch. So, the last thing she would want is somebody to hit below the belt and, accuse her of something to do with the miscarriage. I can totally understand her reservations. So, moving on, Dr. Contessa doesn't go either. She doesn't have an opportunity to pull from the basket, or they edited it out. Whatever the case, we didn't see Dr. Contessa's turn. Maybe it was because Quad took up too much time, because Quad, in her scene, she chose every card from the dang bucket damn near. And apparently she has an issue with everybody in the room. And Dr. Jackie says, can we narrow it down to two, for the sake of time? Quad says she's disappointed. She's disappointed that no one was there for her when she was going through her divorce, which according to her, she's still going through. And she proceeds to go into a very dramatic diatribe about being nailed to the cross and dragged across the coals for the past 6 years. Oh my God! It was like watching Meryl Streep or Angela Bassett, who are stellar actresses, by the way. A low budget version of them. That's what we were watching. It was just awful. But anyway, most of the ladies, just like me, were unimpressed by Quad's overacting, and even Toya in her confessional was like, "Is she done? Is she through? Is you finished or is you done, Quad? Is you finished or is you done?" But meanwhile, Quad, eventually takes another dramatic moment to ask one of my close friends, I would like to reconnect with one of my close friends. It could have been Mariah, but we all knew it wasn't going to be. So then, again, dramatically, she was like, "Dr. Simone, I'd like to have a discussion with you outside of the group." I just don't like her. Anyway, they talk outside, and they decide to, meet for a, lunch or dinner to decide if, to reconnect, as Quad would say. Dr. Simone and Quad decide to reconnect over dinner. Now, Dr. Simone arrives, Fendi down to the socks, honey. She got her Fendi outfit on. Hey, we see you, Dr. Simone. So they agree, they meet. Dr. Simone gets there first. She's waiting. She didn't order an appetizer, a drink. She's sitting there just sipping. Quad is over an hour late. Dr. Simone reveals in her confessional that this ain't new. She already knew. Quad has often done this. She has no respect for no one's time, and she arrives when she feels like it. When she finally arrives to the restaurant, Quad rushes in as if she has better things to do. And she doesn't even bother to apologize to the lady who been sitting there waiting on her, who she asked to meet to reconnect. In fact, she just dives right in, telling Dr. Heavenly that she needs to, apologize to her for what she did at Heavenly's barbecue, or crab boil. Dr. Simone was like, "Hold up, wait a minute. Is no hello, no how you doing, no nothing." Quad was like, "I don't have time for small talk, honey. I gotta go to work in the morning." I'm like, oh my God. The only thing I can say about it, I just feel like Quad is being a complete asshole because that is her way of remaining relevant. That's how I feel. Or perhaps she's just an asshole. Maybe that's it. I don't know. In her confessional, Simone says that Quad is acting quite a bit differently than she did at Jackie's emergent tea party. Over at the emergent tea party, she was remorseful. She was like, "I want to reconnect. I want to see what I need to do. We need to talk it out." And then over here, she's basically demanding her, "I demand that you tell me why you was acting that way or whatever." It was just really bizarre. Maybe it was Quad's change of wigs. I don't know. She went from that god awful blonde wig to this semi-okay auburn wig with the Donald Trump side part. But whatever the case, let's just call this her Donald Trump angry wig. I don't know. But I digress. Quad demands to know why Simone treated her that way at Dr. Heavenly's crab boil, an event that happened over a year ago. Dr. Simone is like, "We already went through this. We hashed it out. We made up. Why are you bringing up this now?" And she was like, "Because I'm not over it, whatever. And she was really, really, really nasty, over dramatic. It was just a lot. Quad attempts to force Simone to comply with her demands to engage. And in my opinion, I feel like Quad was just again, turning up for the camera. She was making this moment all about her and not about what it was supposed to be about. Reconnecting with what was supposed to be a friend of hers. Simone is over it. She's just done. She's like, little girl, bye. And you know, while it was a condescending comment, Quad was acting like a spoiled little girl. It is what it is. Simone leaves the circus act at the table. This one, look, I'm reading my post on straightfromtheA.com. I crack myself up. She leaves the circus act at the table and drives off in her Maserati. Look, Quad, meanwhile, stays at the table and continues, you know, practicing her acting role and, you know, even speaking out loud to herself. There's no one around. And she up here talking like she's running because she has nothing to say about her behavior. She also called Simone a lying ass. It was just so cringeworthy. I don't even know what else to say about it. Let me know if you saw what I saw. It is what it is. All I know is the last scene was so theatrical that it kind of confirmed everything that I've been thinking about Quad up until now. She is just... she is just a campy drag queen. Oh, Lord. God forgive me. I'm sorry, drag queens. I'm sorry. But, I mean, Quad could be on, you know, RuPaul's Drag Race or something because she, you know, she gives me... She's stolen, you know, her crackhead friend's entire persona, and she's hamming it up for the camera. I mean, you may as well put fucking Junkie Dineva in a wig and put him in the camera in her place. They both look alike. I don't know. I digress. I'm being petty. I'm about to go. Let me know what you think of this video. Like this video. Subscribe to my channel. Leave your comment down below.